Well, here is a knife that I knew very little about. I actually never knew it existed until I had lunch with Peter from A Therapeutic Edge a couple of weeks ago. We got together, had a great lunch. He had some things to give me back. I had loaned him because, yes, I loan knives to other people also. That's what's great about this little community. I like to share with other YouTube channels and people that don't have YouTube channels. I send a lot of stuff to people also just because of such the support I get from all of you folks in sending me stuff. When people ask to borrow stuff, I generally say, yeah, sure. Here, let me ship it to you. I've shipped some knives. I've shipped watches. Like we got to talk. We got to chat. I got to make sure you're real and, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, Peter and I met for lunch, had a great burger. Oh my God. Was the burger fantastic at this little place in Benicia, wasn't it? I think it was in Benicia. It was a very cool little spot. Anyway, he gave me this. It's the Bad Habit Manufacturing Knife and Tool MOFO. I didn't even know the company existed. I didn't know anything about it. And I know a little more, but I don't know everything about that company. I think it was started by Steve Doomchus? DB Knives, custom maker. Kind of started this as a production lineup, I guess. This really kind of just takes me back to when I got into knives. Like when you get into knives, you just need a knife. And then we get hung up in this, gotta have fancy steel, gotta have fancy scales, gotta get custom stuff. And then that's not custom enough. So then you got to get more custom and more custom and more. It becomes this freaking circle, this cycle of collecting, which sometimes I wish I had never started collecting. Legit. I just need a couple of good knives and be done. I don't need to have the 70-ish that I own. Like, really? I can only carry 1, 2, maybe 3 at a time. If you're I carry one knife at a time and then a small little Swiss Army in the bottom of my pocket. But this is just kind of what a knife is supposed to be. And they kind of make it for, they kind of quote the working man or whatnot. This one has a little pop with the Damascus clip. Peter opted for that. So these run about $285 in this configuration. They have an all blacked out one that's like $275. And then there's a two-tone one also with a two-tone blade and a black stonewashed scales. And I think that's also at the $285. Now, Peter might have opted a little bit extra for the clip. I don't remember. I didn't look that closely at their website. But this thing is just pretty bulletproof. 4 and 9/16 closed. 8 inches overall. So that gives you 3.46-inch blade, 3.24-inch cutting edge. Now behind the edge, let's take a look here. So it is a Tanto, and generally your grind is thicker on the Tanto. They start out really thick at the very top, which is great. That gives you a lot of strength to really do piercing work. It's 0.043 up here at the tip. And then it goes back down to 0.017 and 0.017 across the belly. And you can see there's some stuff on here because Peter was using it. I wiped it off. I didn't clean it all off because there were some oils and stuff on it. So I wiped it off, but I didn't want to clean it. I want to show you guys that this is one that Peter carries and uses quite often, he told me. It's got some cool milling there. Some lightening pockets on the inside as well. You can see there, a few there. Bad Habits Manufacturing on the back spacer on the inside. Just your typical titanium frame lock, steel lock bar insert, titanium pivot collars. Like, it's just done well. You can see Peter's got some scratches and stuff on it. Whatevs. At $285, do we really care? Now, granted, there are cheaper user knives, if you will. And we're going to put this in the user category. And here just happens to be a blacked out Tanto. Similar in size. Flipper versus thumb stud. Liner lock versus frame lock. You know, but again, similar. $40, $50 on Amazon. $285. D2, probably from China. S30V. Is that worth $240 more? Well, you got titanium scales, so there's that. You know, if this is 50 and this is 280 or 275 for easy math, you know, is it worth that much more? I'm not saying yes or no. You get a little fancy pocket clip, a little bit longer blade length. I think these are great options for users. Weighs in at 4.4 ounces, 0.517 in overall thickness minus the clip, titanium backspacer. Runs on steel caged bearings. Steel bearings, ceramic bearings. Again, like I said at the beginning, I think as collectors, we start to get kind of hung up on things. Technically speaking, sure, ceramic bearings are probably a little step above. Okay? I'm not going to argue these points. I'm going to just tell you how I feel. I want to try to align this so the Sharpie is up with the clip is down. A little OCD there, sorry. Here it is with the Sharpie and the Spyder Codelica. You saw it next to the Kubi, but let's just line them up just for grins. This is not the only model that Bad Habits has. They have several different folding knives. And because I pulled out the custom Hellraiser, let's drop that in here too. They've got several different folding knives. There's a mini MOFO that's more of a drop point. And then there was 3 or 4 others. And there's a fixed blade. So they make some different stuff. And they also have some t-shirts and lifestyle brand type things. This thing is crazy sharp. Did a little cutting with it. It is super sharp. And it just runs really good. I don't know. I own expensive, handmade, one-off customs. And I own some, China production knives. So I own everything in that full spectrum of price ranges, $10, $20 up to $10,000. Sometimes I kind of wish I had stopped at that $300 to $500 range. You get past a certain price point and it's all just about comparing. Like, you get more exotic material. Is the quality, the craftsmanship exponentially better? I don't know. Now, there's no offense to any of the makers that are watching, which they don't watch my stuff. But, I'm become friends with, and I talk to makers a lot now. And I still like my customs. I still buy the customs and things like that. But it's more of an obsessive thing with us becoming a collector. And we get this obsessive compulsive thing that we got to get something better next time. We always got to be climbing this collection ladder. And we always got to keep up with the Joneses and the other people out there that are posting on Instagram and Facebook and all of those things, and we feel like, well, I need one of those, or I need to get something better than that person. Like, I know I do it. I mean, I can't speak for everybody. I shouldn't say we get into that mentality. I get into that mentality. And I see some other of my friends' collections, and I'm like, man, I wish mine was that good. And then I look at mine and I'm like, damn, mine is freaking good. I don't need to compare myself to them. I'm going to take some pictures of mine and post them too, but I don't need new stuff. This is a knife that you can just carry, you can use. It has a little pop there, which I like. And you can just enjoy the shit out of this and not worry about it. I don't know. I rambled there at the end, but let me know your thoughts on that. And I've done some pricing videos in the past, and we've done an EDC hour, a live stream with my co-host Alex. We've talked about this a lot, and there is no right or wrong answer. But it is something that right now in my collection, I am reevaluating a little bit. Do I need the quantity of knives that I have at the quality that I'm at? A lot of money sitting around to the side of here that you can just see, over here and here. Like, all of this stuff starts to add up. The stuff that's in the safe, the stuff that's in the drawers to my left. Especially when I've been carrying one knife for 240 plus days. Just at a reevaluation point in my life, I guess. So, rambling a little bit. It just shares some of my thoughts. Doesn't answer any questions for me exactly, but if I'm having those questions, I have to believe that some of you are also. So let's chat about it down below. Thanks, guys.